Hi everyone, welcome back to Writer's Dream Coach. Today I'm going to show you the tapping points that we use in EFT tapping. And I'm just going to say my name is Frau Möbius. I'm owner and founder and EFT practitioner and licensed therapist, at least here in Germany. So you probably know that we're going to use tapping points when doing that EFT stuff. And you probably saw a chart somewhere or read a description, but I'm going to show them to you anyway because this is a series about how to do this stuff. And it's always easier to follow someone, monkey do, monkey say. And at least that's what I find. I can mimic people a lot more easily than read a description and figure out what they're actually trying to say. So the tapping points are mostly in your face, some are on the upper body, and some are on your hands. And we're just going to get started right away. And then I'll go into some nifty tricks for using EFT in a different way. So you start with the setup phrase, what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, how to get the words set up for your phrase, how to use them to bring yourself into the issue and the emotions. And you do that while you're tapping this part of the hand. The side of the hand, as it's now called, used to be called karate chop point, but people thought that was a bit brutal. So we chose the more peaceful expression of the side of the hand. This is the side of the hand. And you tap it like this and that. It doesn't matter which side you're working on because the meridians that we're using, the same meridians that are used in acupuncture, are basically the same on either side of the body. Now, let's assume you've done the setup successfully. You've said 3 sentences. You feel connected to your issue, and now you want to start the works. You start tapping on the inner eye point, which is at the side of the bridge of the nose, where your eyebrow starts, and you tap it with 2 fingers, like this or like that. And the next point, easy to find, but a little tricky for people who wear glasses like I do. Imagine a horizontal line that passes through your eyes, and that point is on the side of your head. But be sure to tap on the bone. I'm going to show it to you without my glasses so you can be really sure. It's right here. And of course, right there. And you may have seen this already. I'm always doing that. I chose glasses with a very narrow arm because I do EFT all the time. And my trick to reach that point is to actually put my fingers around the arm of my glasses and tap like that. What you can also do is you can just hold the point by slipping a finger underneath those arms. Forgive me if I don't use the correct term, and if you're a glasses salesperson, apologies. The third tapping point is called under the eye, and that's exactly what it is. You just imagine a vertical line getting through your eye, and it's right here on the bone, below the eye, more or less in the middle, from your nose to your cheek. It's just like here. And you tap it like that, or like this, and that's easy. The next one is even easier. It's called underneath the nose, and imagine where it is. It's right here. And tapping that actually sometimes makes speaking a little funny, but as you can hear, it's quite possible to tap this point and to say the words that you want to say at that point. The next one is chin point, also very easy to find. Here, the chin comes up and then where it curves in, and you're basically tapping at the bottom of your teeth. Very easy to find. That's a chin point. Now, the next one is a collarbone point, and you can't see my collarbones very easy because that's the way I'm built. But you can sense them very easily. So what you do is you follow your collarbones down and you will find that they end in a little knob here. And if you move your fingers just down a little further, you will find a nice little corner between your breastbone and the ends of your collarbone. This is a nice soft little corner, and that's where the collarbone points are. And I like to put my thumb on one of those points and 2 fingers on the others, and then I just tap it like that. And yes, you don't have to remove your t-shirt, you can tap on the cloth, it doesn't matter. The point is, in the tapping, is simply to get some sort of stimulation to the points. So gentle tapping is totally what you need. And if that tapping actually hurts, because it sometimes does, if you have a migraine, you really don't want to tap that point. What you can do, if one of these points hurts while you tap it, you can just hold it gently, or rub it a little, just touch it. The whole point is to get some kind of stimulation to those points. Anyway, collarbone points. The next one is under the arm. It's right here, and I like to slap it with the flat of the hand because it's just, we have a lot of area there. And doing it like this makes sure you actually hit the point. And the next one is one that's from one of the later CDs by Gary Craig. It's across the wrist, this area here, and I usually just tap it like that. And this is actually a shortcut for the finger points, which I'm going to show you next. I like to use the across the wrist slap as a shortcut. It replaces the finger points, and you stimulate at least 3 meridians that way by, slapping on your wrist. And as I said, replacement for the finger points. Now the finger points, on the other hand, are awesome to know because you can use them in a very subtle, non-annoying way. I teach this to my clients so they can tap while they're riding a bus, for example. Some of them are not happy about riding on a bus. They have some kind of anxiety. And using the finger points makes tapping very inconspicuous, and it helps them to release the stress anyway. So the first finger point's on the thumb, and I need to quench this with the camera somehow. I did this yesterday in German. It was so much easier. Anyway, here we go. Hold your hand like this, and the point is right on your thumb on the other side. So on the side of the nail, outside of the thumb. And I'm saying outside because I mean the side facing away from the fingers. The next point is on your index finger. There we go. There. It's the part closest to the thumb, which means you can actually stimulate this point by rubbing it on your thumb. And it's the same point on all fingers: middle finger, ring finger, tiny finger. Now Gary Craig leaves out the ring finger because it's the same meridian. There's a meridian that has 2 ends in these fingers. Personally, I don't think it matters. It's a meridian point you can stimulate, and that can help your stress. And these are the finger points. Thumb, fingers. And sometimes, because I needed to use these points at one point in my life, you can just sit like this and you can rub your thumbs like that. And that is also going to help any stress level that you have. Isn't that cool? You can do this in a meeting and nobody, I mean, you probably should do it underneath the table so they don't think you're bored, but this is a very nifty way of reducing stress levels, and nobody will notice it. Nobody. I've done this in a train. And in Germany, we have trains with opposing seats, which is nice if you want to talk, but I was running a massive migraine on that day and I really needed some relief. So I was just rubbing my thumb points and it did help. Now, the other thing that I promised in the blog is on a way that is a more meditative way of using the tapping points. And it's a really wonderful method to release stress if you don't really know what's going on, if you're just kind of overwhelmed or stressed, or if you're in pain, you don't really want to you don't want to bother with a setup phrase, you don't want to go through all this tapping rigmarole. What you can do, and it's a very simple thing. It can take more time. It may not be as efficient as a well-aimed tapping round, but it still is going to help you. What you can do is hold the tapping point and just take a breath. So you put your fingers on the tapping point and you go, and then you move on to the next tapping point. Just hold it, take a breath. Just hold it and take a breath. And you do this on all of the tapping points. And you can use the finger points if you like it. But it's a very gentle way of reducing anxiety, reducing stress, of releasing all these emotions. And if you're in bed trying to fall asleep, this is a very nice way of doing this. And if you have some experience and you know how it feels to hold these spots, you can actually visualize that in your mind and take a deep breath at each point, and it'll be effective. That's because our brain doesn't make a whole lot of difference between something we actually experience and something we imagine vividly. That's well proven by science. So you can use this tap and breathe or hold and breathe technique to help yourself fall asleep. And I think that's awesome. I use that personally. Not every night, but I use that. So I hope that this little video has shown you the tapping points and given you a little more confidence about using them. And I really hope that at the very least you will do the hold and breathe technique to release any stress that you're feeling. And I'm wishing you a very nice week. I'll see you again next week. We'll talk about what to say during the tapping round next time. And until then, bye-bye.